Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report that's about as exciting as watching paint dry. But hey, someone's got to do it. We are going to analyze the latest shareholder meeting results for BigBear.ai. What's the big deal about a shareholder meeting? Well, it's where the people who own the company get to vote on important decisions, like who gets to be on the board of directors and whether to approve the company's accountants. So let's see who's in, who's out, and what the numbers tell us about this AI company. Before we dive in, if you are into getting quick insights from these kinds of filings, make sure to subscribe and join our Discord community in the description below. Now let's get to it. So BigBear.ai held its annual shareholder meeting on June 2, 2025. Basically, this meeting is where the company asks its shareholders to vote on different proposals. And this filing tells us how those votes went down. As of April, there were over 3 million shares were represented at the meeting, either in person or by proxy. That's enough to have a legal quorum, meaning they had enough votes to actually do business. First up, we have the election of directors. These are the people who sit on the board and make big decisions for the company. Shareholders voted on who they wanted to be Class I directors, which means they'll serve for 3 years. The nominees were Sean Battle, Paul Fulcino, and Dorothy Hayes, and they all got elected. Sean Battle got about 23.6 million votes for him, but almost 8.6 million votes were him, but almost 8.6 million votes were him, but almost 8.6 million votes were withheld. What this means is that some shareholders didn't want to vote for him, but they didn't vote against him either. Paul Fulcino got about 23.6 million votes were him, but almost 8.6 million votes were him. But almost 8.6 million votes were him, but almost 8.1 million withheld. Now here's a big number, over 10 million withheld. Dorothy Hayes got the most love with 30 million votes for her and only 2.1 million withheld. Now here's a big number, over 23 million withheld. Dorothy Hayes got the most love with 30 million votes for her and only 2 million withheld. Dorothy Hayes got the most. Next, they voted on whether to approve the company's choice of accountants, Grant Thornton for the year. Think of this as shareholders giving the thumbs up to the people who check the company's financial statements. This one passed easily with about 142 million votes in favour. Only about 2.3 million votes were against and around 775,000 abstained, meaning they didn't vote either way. There were no broker non-votes on this proposal, likely because brokers usually have the authority to vote on routine matters like this, even without instructions from shareholders. Iktid now that we went over the report, let's think about the big picture here. Right now, BigBear.ai seems to be keeping things steady. The shareholder meeting went smoothly with all proposed directors elected and the accounting firm ratified. However, that big number of broker non-votes in the director election could mean that a lot of shareholders aren't actively engaged or informed about the company needs strong shareholder support for future plans. Looking at the election results, Dorothy Hayes received significantly more votes for than the other nominees, whereas Sean Battle received the most votes withheld. It's possible some investors have reservations about Battle potentially related to past performance or other concerns. This could indicate some level of shareholder dissatisfaction that the company needs to address. Overall, the company seems to be sailing smoothly with no immediate issues, but they need to ensure that all shareholders are engaged and that any concerns about the leadership are addressed. The financials of the company would be much more relevant to look at for a better outlook of the company's current situation. Alright, that's our breakdown of BigBear.ai's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.